What's up, YouTube? It's your boy DR2727. Shout out to all my Transformers collectors, 1/6 scale collector, Mezco collectors, whatever statue collectors, whatever you collect, shout out to you. And this month's video is my 2018 Transformers Toy Awards. And it's actually my favorite video I do. But before we actually get to the awards, it's a couple of things, announcements, and then I want to do something new this year. So the first announcement is if you're into high-end collectibles, toy rentals from Transformers, Mezco, Hot Toys, and the other high-end toy brands, try trymytoys.com. I'll put a link in the description. And we offer rentals. All the prices include shipping both ways. We offer leasing for high-end collectibles. We're actually offering a payment plan option, and we're going to introduce that in mid-January with MP44, the Optimus Prime, MP10 Plus, or whatever you want to call it. We're going to offer a payment option, and that'll be in the middle of January, I think the 17th or around that time. Also, you can catch me on a podcast, Two Brown Boys Talk Toys, with my brother Jal Horton. I'll also put the link to that in the description. And we do a podcast, at least once a month. We try to do it once every 2 weeks, but guaranteed to be once a month. So remember, trymytoys.com and twobrownboystalktoys.com. Those are some of my other toy-related ventures. And I'll put the link to both of those in the description. And before we actually get to the Toy Awards, I want to apologize. One, because I know the video is going to be kind of long, so it gets a little wordy toward the end of it. So I apologize for that. Next year, I promise I'll be more concise on my thoughts and I won't ramble as much as I'm doing right now or through the rest of this video. And before we get to the actual awards, I want to do something new. I want to add a State of the Toy address. So basically how the president does a State of the Union address, where he talks about what's going on in the country, the trends and positive things and negative things he's seen in the country. I want to do the same thing about toys, and specifically Transformers toys. And this year's State of the Union address, I think, is a couple of things that stood out to me in 2018, and I want to address those, and then we'll get to the awards. So the first thing I want to address is high-end collectibles, the rise of high-end collectibles and the price of high-end collectibles, now Transformers. So I think I've said this on a couple of people posts. I think Flames Toys has shown the Transformers community, specifically Takara and Hasbro, that people would buy high-end Transformers. I have Flame Toys Torn. I had their Drift. Makes a good product, but it was $2.99 and $3.99 respectively, and they both sold out. And so I think Takara took note of that and said, hey, we can increase our prices. And I think that from the Dinobot to Beast Wars Megatron, the MP44, it just shows you that Takara is thinking now, hey, we are making a higher end collectible. We're the Hot Toys of Transformers. And even on the lower end scale, from the Siege price went up too. And all these prices are going up. You're getting more paint, more articulation, and things that may matter to some collectors. But you see it all across official Takara and Hasbro lines. They replaced the Chug stuff, the Power of the Primes times returns, with Siege, and now they're updating the Masterpiece line to be more than what it was, and they're reflecting in the price. Me personally, of course I want them to be cheaper, but I understand why they're doing what they're doing, and I also think that that opens up a lane for third party. And I think one of the things that keeps third party in business is, one, they always were a niche filler or a space filler. So Takara didn't do a sludge Dinobot. Third party can give you a sludge Dinobot, and they don't have to worry about the official stepping on their legs. And so I think that that's been something that's happened throughout the life of third party. But as we're wrapping up our collections and third party is finding it harder and harder to survive, I think Takara increasing their prices is also going to help third party make it and survive in this new climate. Also, I think pay attention to Final Victory. They doing the Warpath, Huffer, and Braun. I think what they're doing is smart, and that's called it a Chug Plus release, where their characters are MP style, but not necessarily MP look or MP quality, but they are in Chug price range. So I call it a Chug Plus or MP minus. But I think it's a very smart way to attack the business, because you're cheap enough where KOs won't KO you, but you're also in the realm of MP kind of scale. So those collectors who were turned off by the $120 Sunstreaker, now they have cheap alternatives that are so cheap KOs won't be able to knock them off. And also the same thing with Magic Square. Magic Square is dipping into this prime pool, giving a a good alternative to a $450 toy. So just in general, I think the rise of official toys to Cara Hasbro opens up the lane for third party as we move forward. The second trend I saw is the rise of legend figures. And you'll see a couple of legend figures, spoiler alert, in the video. But it's been, everybody and their mama is doing legend figures. Now you've seen a new company, Magic Square, DX9, Iron Factor, Unique Toys have always been doing legend scale, excuse me. But then you're seeing old reputable companies like Edge Transbots and Toy World throw their hat into the legend scale ring. And also another new company, New Age, they're throwing their hat into the legend scale ring. So I think that it's interesting that as third party tries to survive post G1 Transformers, instead of doing like Beast Wars or animated or prime MP scale, you see way more people going into the legend scale G1 side of it. And I wonder what will happen when that well dries up. But that's kind of the second thing I noticed in collecting in 2018, just the rise of legend scales. And finally, just seeing the amount of combiners that we're getting. And Fans Toys is jumping into combiners, Edge Transbots is jumping into combiners, DX9 is jumped into combiners, Zeta Toys has jumped into combiners, and the whole scale problem within combiners. Do you parts for them? Do you not parts for them? Are they all going to be the same height, the individual bots? Are they going to be different heights, but they parts for them? Just the whole combiner conundrum. So it's just interesting to see how that all plays out in the next year. So that's my state of the toy address. Let me know in the comments what trends or topics in Transformers collecting you were most interested in 2018, and I'll respond back to it. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts. But those are some of the things I thought were interesting in 2018. And without further ado, we're going to get to the Toy Awards. And we're going to do something a little different this year. Instead of going most surprisingly good, most disappointing, most bad, worst toys, and the best toys, we're going to go from worst to first. So we're going to start with the worst toys, go to the most disappointing toys, to the most surprisingly good, then to the best toys. So again, we're going from worst to first. We're going from worst toys to most disappointing toys, to the most surprisingly good toys, to the best toys. Thank you again for watching. And I'm sorry it's so long, but I hope you enjoyed.